Thank you, Pooja. Okay, I'm audible. Great, awesome. Good evening, everyone, and we are really happy to be talking about infrastructure today. It's a very interesting topic because the India growth story strongly hinges on good infrastructure. So states like Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, they're already taking big leaps, taking big strides. And I think what we are here to discuss today is West India's infrastructure push, the factors driving the same. So I want to open this panel with a common question, a broad question to all of you. How closely is West India's vision, infrastructure push, tied to the larger India growth story, the Viksit Bharat vision? Let's start with you, Ashok.
So, Mumbai being the financial capital undoubtedly had been the center for the for the Delhi to look into it, that everything flows down good. And we have been seeing that the larger infrastructure is already happening in what our CM has already announced during this tenure, that Mumbai 3 is what is going to happen up for next. And everything is already in place, right from Delhi Industrial Mumbai Corridor, DIMC, traveling right from Delhi to here, and all the integrated roadways right from national highways to state highways. So everything is in place over here, and we see Navi Mumbai which is adding on to the right new picture of the city of Mumbai as a global city with the new airports, etc. coming. Everything is in place, and government has seen to it that the adequate funds have been given to it, and the development is happening.
Fantastic. Rajiv, your take on this?
I think infrastructure is critical, and what we have seen, at least in the western side, Bombay and New Mumbai, I think the Panvel, those locations have really taken up, say, purely from the infrastructure point of view. Also, we'll see the airport going functional, and that will have a lot of development for Bombay, and also the opportunity. Purely the opportunity is going to come because the infrastructure story is there. There is a demand for good real estate, and that is there. Third thing is that today people are used to better experience. I think today, if you see the consumer side, we are talking about infrastructure being B2B. But if you think from consumer side, I think they are looking for better experience. And what can give you experience is that once we have a better infrastructure, the township projects. I think the big thing is now is that the township projects which is going to take shape. And those integrated township projects that's going to come, that is going to give the lifestyle, give the experience the customer is looking for, which is not only integrated but sustainable, smart township projects. I think that's a big takeout, is that from the consumer point of view, I am going to get a good lifestyle, full of experience and having the amenities, and it's an integrated township.
Ashwinder, your opening remarks on this?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. So we are the land company, the largest branded land company in India. When we speak of the land, it's more of an emotional investment by any customer. Each one of us, through our ancestors, have learned the art of dealing in the land. Unfortunately, it is something which is not affordable in the cities. When we speak of the infrastructure, it opens the key nodal points from one metro to the other metro, and there are a lot of the minor arteries in between, wherein you take an example of, say, Samruddhi Mahamarg, or you take an example of Bombay-Goa highway, which is now broadening, and the entire coastal road in Bombay as well. What happens actually is, with this kind of an infra, the boost on the mini nodal points, say Anjale, Dapoli, when it comes to the western Konkan part of Maharashtra, these are the high potential locations which we have already unlocked to a great extent. There is another scope of improvement which is because of the airport. So places like Khopoli, Neral, which are seeing the light of today, have immense potential and can really yield good results with a very robust infrastructure. Speaking on the Viksit Bharat, I think the best example so far is something which we have seen in UP, the kind of infrastructure which was promised and which is there. They have, I think, developed more than 15 odd expressways right in UP. There are more than 5 international airports in the last 8 years. We see the tourists now rising to, there was a report of 16 crore tourists at that particular place, which crosses Taj. So the promised infrastructure by the government under the aegis of able government and, these examples are something which motivate us to think more about our customers, and we pick up those locations which have immense potential of growth.
Right. Ashok, you want to add something?
Yeah, in addition to it, what we see is that A is an infrastructure which we as real estate people always know, that is eat, kada or cement. But the government is very keen on infrastructure to be developed on other parameters, that is the health care across India as well as digital. And we see that the digital infrastructure which is being created, which India has already excelled. And Mukesh Bhai Ambani already announcing the 6,000 crore rupees of investment in the region of Mumbai 3 for this digital infrastructure. So these are also very important infrastructure which the central government is taking across, that is the health and digital. In addition to the green initiatives, trying to map up 2-tier cities A and B also very, very close to it. This is where we'll see there is a great change in the country, in the whole economics and in the growth, what we call it as that one multiple number of trillions of valuation of the country.
No, absolutely. And, I just want to, before we get to the digital infrastructure bit, which we'll speak about, I want to know how have infrastructure priorities evolved over the years, the last 5-7 years or so, especially post the pandemic. And now there's a growing focus on sustainable green infrastructure as well. So what is your take on that?
Well, post-COVID, we had seen a lot of changes in terms of behavior of each individual, and there is an ask, and also when we see the response or the responsibility which the government authorities today are giving across. Earlier, it was always to be told that like an Hindi picture, कि पुलिस पहले भागती है, चोर पहले भागता है, पुलिस बाद में आती है. So was India, that everything was happening first and the government was coming later. Now we see the officers, the bureaucrats very much responsive. They talk about it. They think of what has to come before the development has to happen. So that is a positive sign that we can see that yes, the government, the bureaucrats are responsive to the individuals and the citizens. And post-COVID, we have seen it out that there is a big change happening in many ways, many things, many fields of thinking also. So maybe it would be smaller streams like senior citizen living, or it may be something like student housing living, or warehousing, or data centers, etc.
Sure. Rajiv, I want to bring you in here. Tell me, what are the unique strengths of West India, in terms of the biggest opportunities, especially from an investor lens as well?
I think it's a demand story. I think there has always been a demand for the Western market, and that's purely, when you say consumer demands, it's mostly the end user demand. Right. I think that is a big story for West, that, you have an end user demand. The second thing is the capability to upgrade. I think the upgrade story is very strong for West. I think post-COVID, if you see, the story is all about people upgrading their status, their lifestyle. If they were used to be in 2 BHK, that has gone up to 3. 3 has gone to 4. And standalone building to a complex, which is gated complex, having amenities, landscaping. So that upgrade story is stronger in the West. Second thing is the demand. Third is the commercial activity. So obviously, a lot of push is happening in the commercial part. So when the commercial activity is there, then the residential, the real estate development, and the infrastructure story coming together. The last part is the digital part of it. I think if you'll see infra and real estate, they're not very strong in terms of the digital push like FMCG or e-commerce, but a lot of companies have started using digital as the mainline focus for their company. And that is a big thing purely from my point of view. If I'm selling homes, which is part of Roti Kapda Makan, is so essential. But, in a city like Bombay, it's difficult to get that component. Digital has helped in terms of reaching to the audience in a much better way. Second thing is that it's giving you different markets, like say going beyond Bombay, if you want to reach all over India, NRI markets, so digital push is there. Third thing is that AI aspect. I think when we are making a smart city, like today, if you see the development is towards the township projects and smart cities, AI is playing a more important role. Whether it's a traffic management, making sure that you are making an efficient city in terms of carbon neutral, energy efficiency, that is a key aspect of it. So in totality, it's an opportunity which has been created through a mix of infra story and the commercial sector coming together, which is giving a lot of push to the residential and overall real estate.
Sure. And what about the policy and framework? Ashwinder, I would like to bring you in here. Tell me, what are some of the policy tweaks that are required? Are there any funding roadblocks in terms of real estate and infrastructure as far as that is concerned? And if so, what needs to be done?
Firstly, in Mumbai, especially the DCR, I think is well elaborated. When you go outside Mumbai, it's UDCPR. The policies are there in place. However, we can, ask support from the government on placing those mechanisms of approval wherein the single window clearance of the project, if it is done in a, suitable time, because carrying land, carrying a lot of other, facilities inside the development, it's a huge capex cost. If the approval mechanism can be improved upon, that is one such thing which comes in my mind. There could be another thing wherein, there's real estate. We are talking about Viksit Bharat. There's a lot which is being done in logistics world, be it, Gati Shakti Vishwa Vidyalaya, wherein you actually get trained, the young talent gets trained, breeded for solving specific logistics problems, transport problems, railway problems, something of that sort, wherein the real estate institutes in tune with IIMs, IITs, though every engineering college does have civil engineering, mechanical engineering, but we have a word called as MEP and civil in the real estate world. If it is very, very specific to the real estate for, training people under 4 or 5 years in bright institutes, that's another thing where government can play a huge role in India.
And including tier 2 and tier 3 markets as well?
Yes, of course. In tier 2, tier 3, all the more it becomes much important. There's a lot of talent. We see it in our favorite sport, like cricket. There are a lot of international players, a lot of Olympians. Everyone comes through these towns. If there's, with the, infrastructure of roads and airports and all those connectivity things, if there could be great institutes out there focused on real estate, if there could be skill development out there, it will play a huge, huge role.
Sure. Ashok, coming to you, we have the Atal Setu Bridge, we have the Navi Mumbai Airport, there's a whole talk of this Nana City 3.0. Tell me, how do you think this is going to really transform Mumbai and the region? And I'm talking about just Mumbai and the region, but how do you think that will transform the identity of this particular region?
Well, Mumbai 3, today, as we see, there is a great political will from the head of the states. And it is almost like the Mumbai 3 is 600 square kilometer and our Mumbai is 300 square kilometer. So this would really help out in spreading out horizontally and decongesting and meeting the growing demands of the city, which is growing. Because without this space, the city cannot grow at that pace. We have seen migrations happening of many things going to Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, etc., etc. So the city expansion in terms of geography is very important, and this region happens to be the more core because it leads to all the directions right from the east to the south and north, both, all the three of them, west happening to be the Arabian Sea. So we see that this will help out to put up Mumbai on the global map already where it is in a better city, with better quality of life and maybe ease of living also.
Rajiv, coming to you, you spoke about the end user a while back. So my question to you is, what does everyday India want? What does the consumer want when it comes to infrastructure, real estate, the kind of experience, the experiential experience you're talking about? Can you elaborate on that?
I think it's boils down to one thing is the experience. I think today end user is looking for something which is a better lifestyle, where I can walk to work and stay close to the place so that my traveling time is less, or if I'm traveling a distance, then the infrastructure has to be robust enough so that, I can stay maybe in Panvel but come back to Bombay CBD and work there. So that's what the infrastructure. Second thing is
very ambitious, but yeah, sure.
So that's one. The second thing is that, one of the end user perspective, if you see if Bombay is growing to us, Navi Mumbai, Panvel, those are adding to the supply. The good thing that's going to happen is that one data which comes from the NCR market, couple of years back, the average HNI used to stay in an apartment like say 1300 square feet. Last year, the data shows it has gone up to 2600 square feet. It's purely because the NCR has a supply. Purely it grows in all the direction. I think the same thing we would like to have in Bombay, Maharashtra is that if we get more supply and get bigger space, then the upgrade story will be bit stronger.
Sure. Ashwinder, coming to you now, Ashok and Rajiv both spoke about the digital public infrastructure. I want to know your take on this as well, technology impacting infrastructure and even real estate, to build better and smarter homes.
Well, yeah, that's a huge plus which is going and which developers are working in the field to, improve upon. Be it the GIS systems wherein you are mapping the land, getting to know what exactly is the boundary, be it knowing the strata of the land, otherwise there's always some physical requirement to go at the site and do the soil testing and stuff. If we have records on the land, which is for the legal checks, so if you have an entire chain of ownership, which is digitized, there are platforms on which, the latest technologies are built. So if we use those technologies, if we get those, chains of documents, chains of checking on the satellites, checking with the satellites on the land, doing the GIS, improving the ease of ownership when it comes to the customer. So we have an app in-house wherein we have kind of, relaxed or, it's comfort from buying from your bedroom anywhere in the world. You may be a citizen or you may be, residing in US. With the click of a button, you can get the piece of land in India. And that's another ease which, the digital or the technology can bring into the real estate world. So we are the pioneers of that. And I think there'll be more to, join us.
Just to add one aspect, you were talking about buying the land. Today, if you see real estate, 60 to 70% of leads that comes from digital mechanism. And today, people may not be visiting to the site because everything is done in a tech-friendly manner that you may be outside India. You get a very good perspective of the site, of the project, and the product. I think that has taken real estate closer to reality. I think that is where today people don't wait for the product to be completed, then buy. Today, if you see in a life cycle, people are buying more during the pre-launch or launch stage than when it's ready. It's purely from the point of view that technology has helped us to make sure that the product that we are selling or giving it to the customer becomes more reality during the project launch through tech intervention. And that is really helping us.
Sure. We're completely out of time, but by way of closing remarks, I want to ask one common question to all of you. Tell me, we are living in an environment where there is macroeconomic volatility, rising protectionism, which can lead to supply chain disruptions, and industries across the board are impacted. How do you think businesses in infrastructure, industries, need to sort of safeguard themselves to build more resilient, businesses to be, able to navigate such uncertainties? Let's start with you, Ashwinder, this time.
For any player, we are well aware of the macro and micro economy factors. One such thing is you have to be ahead of times. You need to, kind of envisage what's coming in, where the world is moving, where the customer is moving, where the government, what are they thinking on the regulations. Being well versed with all of these play a very, very critical role in order to safeguard the organization's interest, the business interest. There are things which are, the customers, we keep the customers at the center of everything. So the customer requirement changes from time to time. You said about COVID as well. And the kind of, work which is going on in the infrastructure now is we as a company are focused on eco-conscious infrastructure, wherein because we are working tier 2, tier 3, we are using local materials, we are using local skilled workers, and with the help of all these factors, taking the local communities along with us, it can play a great role for the bright future of any organization.
Sure. Ashok?
So what we see is that the sector and the whole size of the industry has almost increased to 600 folds. So a school of thought maybe which would be thinking that this much of disproportion may lead to some destruction also. And the positive aspect of the other side of the coin is that though there is so much of influx of everything coming in, it is a transition phase. What few of us are already witnessed out, like the development of the city, country and city Dubai, within 1 decade, it transformed with an humongous size of activities being taken across. What as resilient we should be at our offices or at the sector level is that we should core focus on skill development, because 600 folds of sector increases. So it can be mapped like a company or a person who was maybe a decade ago working on within platter of say 100 units and in a housing, today almost have committed to himself for a projects which are of 2,000 flats, and the number of participants have increased to 30-fold. So 30 into 200, it is almost 600 times. 3 into 200. So the sector has increased. The skill development is there, which is required. We don't have today educate engineers to cater to so much of humongous work which is carried out. We don't have human resources to in sell side also with the same acumen. Yes, that is where this even luckily where we are getting AI into over here, and companies would be introducing products which would be easy to understand for the operators or the people in this business will help out to map it out. But yes, there is disproportion, and it may be looked into as an changing face also, and it has to be literally taken care is really we are not driving into any destruction mode.
Sure. Rajiv, over to you.
I think there are two things. One is that the turnaround story has to be faster. Obviously with the help of the tech support, but one has to make sure that anything that you are taking from idea to execution, it has to be done faster. Something like, it's like a moment marketing. If you miss that moment, that timeline, then, you are not getting the ROI. Your ROI will be faster if you can turn around faster. We have seen it in other countries, what they are doing in terms of turning around and getting faster ROI. That's the first aspect, and which is where the tech intervention is critical. Second thing is that today, with the help of a lot of AI, ML tools, one need to understand the stakeholders in a much better way. I think the understanding the customer, the stakeholders through profiling, through progressive profiling is critical. As an organization, if we can keep improving our tools to understand the customer and the other stakeholders in a much better way, then the offering can be customized. I think today the world is moving towards a customization, making sure that the entire offer, whether it's a communication, whether it's a product, whether it's a delivery, whether it's an experience, everything has to be customized and personalized. I think that will be a game changer, that which company is taking that piece of marketing or the product development in a way that becomes a differentiator. I think the organization which does well, they'll do very well.
Fantastic, but I've been told that I've got 5 more minutes, so I think that we can ask. I can ask a few more questions. Ashwinder, I have one question for you. Since we are seeing a lot of development, highways, and there are sea links, and tell me, is that trend leading to the development of new, smaller, micro real estate markets as well?
Of course. We can take an example, say a Bombay-Goa highway, and all the nodal points adjoining that. So when we are selecting a location, or because ultimately we are promising it to the customer for the next 15-20 years, it's going to get the yield for the customer, and of course with the programs wherein he can build their homes and stuff like that. How the selection of that particular micro market has to be done very, very carefully. It has to be done in time. It has to be paced well. It cannot be, go and buy like 1,000 acres at one place, boom, and then wait for it to evolve. You have to pace the entire journey of development in line with the government infrastructure, in line with the government facilities. We are speaking about the highways. A highway is not a full infrastructure. The full infrastructure gets developed in piecemeal. So you get the education institutes there, you get the hospitals out there, you get all other public services which are there, which are essential, which are part of the cities as well. Cities today are very cluttered. There's a FSI fight inside the and every developer they tend to squeeze in every square feet, reduce margins, improve the efficiencies. However, when you go to a tier 2, tier 3, it is more towards sustainability. It is more towards the nature. We are taking it from the nature, and we are also giving it back. So it kind of creates a small, mini, well-established townships which are independent in nature, yet they are collectively exhaustive when it comes to the country.
You want to add something, Raji? Yes.
Arihant, I think township is going to be critical, and it's not only the physical infrastructure that we'll see which will add value to the township or the infra, it's a social infrastructure. I think today people are demanding social infrastructure in a way that they pay a premium for it. I think the premiumness comes from the social infrastructure, whether it's a healthcare, school, entertainment, all those things has to be combined. And you will see that the location story is a big story in real estate. Along with the location, I think township development will be critical, and that will help us to decongest the city in a way as well. When you make bigger township projects, people get diverted to other parts, and also the decongestion will help the city also.
No, absolutely, I agree. Ashok, to what extent can infrastructure have, I'm sure it has an impact on other industries like manufacturing, logistics, even tourism for that matter. Does infrastructure have the ability to really reshape the identity of, say, West India?
Yes, it's going to change everywhere, and especially West India, because it happens to be the hub where there is all resources in terms of capital, in terms of human resources, in terms of intelligence, in terms of consultants, people all working over here. So Mumbai undoubtedly, and Pune, combined with Pune, rules the major of the Maharashtra, and similarly Gujarat is contributing, Gandhidham is contributing towards the western contribution towards in terms of positioning. So it changes, yes, and what we see is an era where we'll find out things changing at jet speed change. The micro markets, as you told, that yes, may become up the major markets also in the coming days, because when the whole of, in terms of real estate, the travel time and the visible infrastructure which is there, and clubbed with the wired, that is the digital infrastructure which is coming across, what we sound more of today nowadays as AI and etc. Combined with everything and everything in place, West will still rule the whole of the India.
Rajib, I want to bring you in here. Tell me what lessons, from the global landscape, from global infrastructure, like, Mumbai is often compared to Shanghai or Dubai, for that matter, but what lessons from the global landscape can West India apply, to better their real estate and infrastructure projects?
I think the first one will be the mobility factor. I think that is where we are lacking in terms of where we can improve so that the story of real estate takes us to the next level. Otherwise, pricing wise, we are the highest, but in terms of transport, mobility factor, that's one thing you'll see that other countries are doing well. The second aspect is the your lifestyle amenities within the surroundings, where we don't get. Like say, each society or maybe in a micro market, there will be clubs, social clubs in other developed countries. Here you don't get that, the social clubs. So one is that amenity aspect, I think people have started demanding that, and you'll see that real estate is getting into that phase that most of the projects which are gated community projects are having a lot of amenities. So amenities brings the lifestyle and experience to the entire township projects, or it's a gated community. The third aspect will be, something that we need to learn on that digital AI aspect of it. A lot of developed countries have started using it more efficiently to make sure that to understand the stakeholders in a much better way. Second thing is that how to make your work more faster, whether it's a construction or it's a sales process that you do, how to make a project presentation, or how your pre-sale team is more efficient in terms of making sure that you are getting only the hot leads to the sales team, not any leads or every leads goes to the sales team. So a lot of work is happening in that direction to make the entire system more efficient, starting from the pre-sale to the last stage where you give the customer the experience when you are delivering a product. I think a lot of learnings are coming from AI, digital interface point of view. The last part will be entire, if you see the learnings that we can take it from other countries, that how they build the amenities within the society and outside the society, and how they maintain it. Today, it's a maintenance also becomes a question mark, whether it is done, it is given to the society, given to the public, but is it maintained? I think maintenance is something that it is critical for us to make sure that it's not only we demand something, we get something, but how to maintain and sustain it. And that's where the sustainable townships are becoming bigger buzzword, along with some better aspects like wellness. I think today, after COVID, one aspect which is coming purely from the real estate and infra or maybe other categories are that wellness factor. And wellness takes care of a lot of other aspects, which is mental peace and getting, making sure that you are healthy and everything is working towards sustainability.
In fact, I want to ask the same question to Ashok and Ashwinder as well. What lessons from the global landscape can we apply? Ashwinder, you would like to go first?
Amenities few years back used to be more emphasized on the lifestyle. People went, saw what's happening in Europe, what's happening, in the other continents, and they were, blindly copied. Now there's a much, when anybody is adding the amenities to the system, there's a very, very conscious call which is taken. Of course, it's coming from the West, but what does the Indian like? What do the Indians like and what do they prefer? How are they going to maintain is a second question. On the amenities part, well-being, as Sir said, is a very, very critical aspect now coming from the West, of course. Be it the eating habits, be it organic farming out there, be it reflexology, parts, and people in India now are understanding each and every aspect on what activity to be done to, improve your health, improve your overall energy for the day. And you'll see more and more runners, more and more people taking up cycling, paddle courts, pickle courts. You don't get chance to, even enter those these days. And they are very expensive to enter. So choosing amenities, right amenities which befit the, Indian culture is something which is very, very important rather than just taking it from the West.
Right. Ashok, over to you.
Well, as human beings, and we have been always adopting what has been more progressive, more upcoming, more new. That is a human nature, and that is where, as developers, as designers, as architects, we are meeting the aspiration of an individual, what they want to buy and what they want to live. And yes, things have been innovative. Nowadays, we see that sports is selling real estate, as which you told that about pickleball courts and etc. So yeah, things are being added on. It's not now only a single swimming pool which is there. Amenities nowadays are not also only what we enjoy or use. It is also many of the companies have taken up and one step ahead, that what could be the amenities of a product line inside the ducts and where the pipes and cables also run. So many good companies, including mine and many other developers, not to name anybody, have adopted out noise reduction pipes, the bus duct systems for electricity supplies. So these also are an core feature of amenities when we sell a product, and we educate a client also that how a cable and bus duct system makes a difference, because you will not have short circuits, there will be less chance of fire, human safety, etc., etc. Sports is taking place. Yes, we ourselves, as many of you would have seen, we are building up an social infrastructure in terms of Club 10 Gymkhana at Karjat, that is ND Studio. It is 250,000 square feet of sports clubbing and leisure, which is not an amenity to a project, but an amenity to a city. So developers are taking new routes, not only to towards housing and offices, but also in other streams, which we have seen smaller streams also, like senior citizen housing, etc., etc. Major one also taking up in terms of social infrastructure for the elite people, as well as all. So it's good that hospitality sector, etc., etc., are now being participated by developers.
Fantastic. Well, this was a very fruitful conversation and discussion. Thank you so much.
Last
Yes,
point
please, go
is
ahead.
that the other aspect is the theme-based development. Like say we are talking about Disneyland, some of those people are talking
Yes.
about coming. That will be big one that we can see how the developed countries have done around the theme-based development. So the theme-based development is one thing I think we should be getting up to it.
Looking forward, absolutely. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This was a wonderful discussion. I'm sure our audiences and our viewers will have a lot to take away. Thank you so much.